Hi, I'm Karen Allen. This is Karen's Corner, episode 4. This is where I read my Buttons the Bear Whispers book, one of my Haunted Found Treasure series on Amazon. We're on chapter 4, Found Footsteps. That night, Maggie didn't sleep. She lay in bed with the covers pulled up to her chest, staring at the ceiling fan, spinning shadows across the walls. Every creak of the house made her ears perk. Every groan of the floorboard sent her heart into her throat. She wasn't usually like this. She wasn't the type to jump at bumps in the night, but something about that bear, about the way it had moved on its own. She turned toward her nightstand and checked the baby monitor out of habit. Chloe was curled up, still as a stone. She flipped to the second camera, the one in Freddie's room. The rocking chair was in full view, empty. Her breath caught. She sat up quickly, rewound the footage 30 seconds, then a minute, then 2. At 11:42 p.m., the screen showed the bear sitting in the chair. At 11:43, it was gone. No movement, no sound, just one frame with the bear, one without. Maggie's skin prickled. She stood up, grabbed her phone, and crept down the hallway. Freddie's door was slightly ajar, just like last time. She peeked in. Freddie was asleep, curled in a tight ball. The bear was back in bed with him, tucked under his arm like it had never moved at all. She stared for a long time. Then she closed the door gently and walked down the stairs. She needed to check something. In the living room closet, tucked behind board games and winter coats, was an old baby monitor system with motion detection, the kind she hadn't used since Freddie was a toddler. She pulled it out, dusted it off, and replaced the batteries. A dim green light flickered to life. If that bear moved again, she'd catch it. Maggie tiptoed back upstairs and, after a few minutes of wrestling with her nerves, set the motion camera in Freddie's room, hidden on the bookshelf facing the chair, just in case. The next morning, Maggie awoke with a start. She checked the time, 7:23 a.m. She'd actually fallen asleep. She sat up and immediately reached for her phone, opening the baby monitor app and scrolling through the night's feed. No alerts, no motion detected. But something was off. The camera feed now showed only Freddie's bed. The rocking chair was completely out of frame. She swore under her breath and stood, hurrying down the hall. Freddie's door was open, so was the closet, and the chair was in the middle of the room. Buttons still sat in it. But the chair had moved. Maggie stared. Freddie! Freddie stirred in bed and sat up groggily. Mom, did you move the chair? He looked confused. No. Did you get up last night? No, he said. Buttons likes it by the closet. Chloe suddenly appeared behind her, rubbing her eyes. Buttons walked again, she said casually, like it was a normal morning update. He left footprints. Maggie turned slowly. What? In the carpet, Chloe said, pointing behind the chair. Maggie looked down. There, just barely pressed into the thick carpet, were a trail of tiny indentations, too small for Freddie's feet, too wide for Chloe's doll, like stubbly little paws. Maggie crouched down and touched one of them. It didn't feel like much, just a soft dip in the fabric. But there were 3, going from the chair to the closet, and none coming back. That afternoon, Maggie took the bear. When Freddie wasn't looking, she walked into his room, scooped up Buttons, and tucked him into a box in the garage, sealed it with the packing tape, then shoved it up on the top shelf next to a pile of Christmas decorations. She didn't say anything about it. But that night, when she tucked Freddie in, he gave her a strange look. He's mad, he whispered. Maggie tucked the covers over around him tighter. Who is? Buttons. How could he be mad? He's just a bear. Freddie didn't answer. He turned toward the wall and said nothing more. At 2:17 a.m., a soft thump echoed from the garage. Something fell off of a shelf, and a second later, so did the box. The tape unraveled on its own. That's the end of chapter 4. Tomorrow we're doing chapter 5. It's called The Rules Are Changing. Thank you for watching and listening. Hope to see you tomorrow.